Hello, everybody. What's up, Kodiak? How's it going? Running a little late. I was playing Battlefront, and I realized that it was 8 o'clock, and so I had to run in here and start the stream, and then kind of run around and get everything else set up. So, welcome. Happy Thursday. I know I said I probably wasn't going to stream tonight, but it turns out I didn't have anything planned. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm alive. I was just putting fires out at work. Well, you do what you need to do. We'll be here. Hi, Missy. How are you doing? This is the beverage of tonight. It is now, I would consider the first day of fall officially Oktoberfest season. I know a couple places started Oktoberfests. Prost. Started Oktoberfest a couple weeks ago or a week ago, but happy autumnal equinox to you and yours. So, real quick, I'm going to flip over to the build camera. If you weren't here on Twitch on Tuesday, we did the clockwork, what is this thing called? Clockwork Aquarium. And it's a very cool set. I don't know why my camera's way over there. Move that a little bit. There we go. It's a very cool set. It actually moves. So you can see the fish move in there. And the little crab jump up and down. And the octopus spins. And everybody kind of bumps around. And it's really sweet. You can see it from the top. And inside you can see the gears. The chains moving. These are Technic lift arm built chains. The downside I have with this set is it's a $70 set. So this is $70. And there are a lot of pieces left over to build 4 other backgrounds. Which is a lot of pieces, and I don't know that I'm ever going to build another background. I might. I don't know. I think it'd be cool to maybe try the other backgrounds and see which ones you like best. But it's not just the background; it's the workings in this too. Like all the fish get replaced and everything. So, I thought it'd be a little bigger, and I didn't realize that it was going to have different backdrops, which is fine and it's cool. I don't know that I would have bought it if I knew that though, because I don't like the Porsche with the different configuration and the bonsai with the different leaves. It's kind of like I want to put it together and it's a neat thing and I want to put it up on a shelf, but I don't want to have to worry about changing it out. But it does keep it fresh. Like if you do get tired of it, as long as you know where you've stored all the parts, you can go back and rebuild it, and so it's kind of fun. So, but it is neat looking. I will say that it is very cool looking. Just keep that in mind when you get it. It's going to seem like it's very small for $70, but you do get a lot more replay value. And I say replay because it's not play; it's re-display value. So, and it's just kind of the mechanism in it is very smooth and very cool, and it feels like a grown-up set when you put it together. So. All right, so this is not the scene I wanted. I wanted build with instructions because we're working today on the ambush at Ferrix, which is the mobile tack pod and speeder bike from Andor. So today we're going to be talking about Andor. If you haven't seen it and don't want to be ruined by it, don't want to be spoiled, I would not watch this because I'm going to be talking about it. There were 3 episodes that aired today. No, they aired yesterday. Right? Yeah, they aired yesterday. And I really like the show so far. It's quite good. It feels more like something like The Wire in space than it does Star Wars. I mean, if you took away all the spaceships and all the droids and all the stuff, it has more of a bit of a crime feel to it. Andor is a shady character who kind of lives off lives on the streets, and he's kind of not a grifter, but and not a con man, but he's kind of a criminal element, right? He does things to get as little money as he can to kind of make his way, and he does. I don't think he kills anybody really. Whatever. There are parts where he does, and we've seen him do it in Rogue One. So this scene depicts something towards the end of the first 3 episodes. And there's a character in here who doesn't show up until the 3rd episode. And this guy's in the 1st episode. Carl or Kyle or something Karn. Something Karn. Cyril Karn, I think his name is. And I don't know who this other guy is. Played by Stellan Skarsgård. That character is Cyril, Luthen Rail. So it's Luthen Rail. And then Cyril Karn is that guy who is... it at first blush kind of looks like a Bespin guard. And then Luthen Rail kind of looks like that hair is a Beckett kind of knockoff. And then we've got Dreamboat, long hair, mumblecore, Cassian Andor. If you haven't watched the show yet and you're going to, if you don't mind the spoilers, Cassian mumbles a lot. He's got that deep, gravelly Spanish voice. And Mexican? Is he Mexican or is he Spanish? I think he's Mexican. Here's your sticker sheet, which I'm probably not going to put on. This is not a set that I'm going to keep. This set is pieces from Mox you're working on? Cool. Well, we'll see what they are. So I've already built, or I've already designed the microfighter for this. So I'll probably have this together for a short time, and then I'll tear it apart and build the microfighter. I also pulled microfighter set together. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. So there's a ship that I've been waiting to get. There's a ship called a UTAT. It's also called a Trident. It's this Mo right here. I've ordered a couple pieces for it, but I did part it mostly out today, and I got a shock trooper to go with it. This was the one thing that I was kind of waiting on. So that'll be the next thing officially built, and then probably right after that I'll do this guy built. So yeah. So not going to use the instructions. We'll do the instructions. Yeah. So I hope you're having a good week. I hope you're looking forward to a good weekend if you have plans. This is 6 bags, but I don't think any one bag is very big. Yeah. So we'll get this all done today. All right, so I don't know who's all here. I'm guessing Missy and Kodiak, and so I know Kodiak probably isn't going to watch this show, but I don't know about Missy. I don't know what your TV viewing proclivities are. If you plan on watching this show or not. Brick separator. I've got 2 heads for each character. This show is quite good. It is a lot more. You don't watch any Star Wars stuff. Sweet. Well, I'm going to talk about this show then. So this outing, this offering is really good. Yeah, this is definitely Beckett hair. It's a good hair. It's got a little receding hairline, a little thing. One of the first scenes we see is Cassian going into a brothel. Not something normally set in a Star Wars universe. And it turns out he's looking for his sister. So we get some flashbacks to him growing up on this planet. Some guards some security people take exception to him looking at them funny, and they get into an altercation outside, and he ends up killing one of them. Or he accidentally kills one, and then he kills the other guy too. And then that's the rest of the show, is him basically trying to figure out how to get off-world and get enough money to kind of get away from this. There's a couple issues I have with this. One being there's a timeline thing going on. So we're jumping back and forth between him as like a 12, 13, 14-year-old, something like that. And he's in this group of kids that's like Lord of the Flies, right? You don't get any explanation, and they speak an alien language that's not translated. It just says speaking in Kindarin or something like that. Okay. So I even had the subtitles on so I can make sure I could pay attention to everything, which I like. I like that kind of misunderstanding. You can get the gist of everything by just kind of paying attention to what's happening and how they express themselves, and they did really well with that. What's not explained is why it's a village of nothing but kids and they're all wearing what looks to be like old flight suits and coveralls and things that maybe some grown-ups had been wearing, and there's technology kind of all over the place, but it's run down or reused technology. It's not functional. So you get the distinct impression that these are kids that were abandoned or orphaned or something. There's no grown-ups. The oldest one's probably about 16 or 17. And it bounces back and forth between them and present day with Andor doing, he's killed this person. He goes back to his planet. He's trying to get some money together so he can get off world. And he's got this piece of technology that he's had for a long time that he can use to sell so he can get enough money to get the heck out of Dodge. Now, he's on this planet that's controlled by what's called, I forget what it's called. It's a corporate security force. So it's kind of like the Aliens franchise or Blade Runner franchise, I guess, Wayland Corp, where it's kind of like security via corporation. They aren't the Empire. We haven't met the Empire yet. It's just this local security group. And there's one guy who they find out that these two guards have been killed, and the chief inspector is like, yeah, they were at a brothel, and then they were drinking, and they were outside of the zone, and they were on the clock, and it seems to me they got into a fight and were killed, and we'll just say that, instead of bringing up a bunch of investigation about it, because they'll obviously be looked at poorly if they find out all this other stuff, we'll just say that they were they were helping some person in distress, and they were, they got into a fight with the person and were killed that way, which isn't too far from the truth. But there's this sort of middle management guy who's like, they were murdered, and I'm going to find out who murdered them. And the chief inspector's like, no, because then we have to report it to the Empire, and it's a whole thing, and the regional governors don't want to hear about it, and just do this. And the guy's like, fine. So chief inspector leaves, and middle management guy's like, we're going to find this guy. And so he spends the rest of the episode hunting Cassian down. And Cassian spends the rest of the time trying to dodge what's going on. And this is 3 episodes, by the way. So it's not 1 episode, so I'm combining stories. At one point, Cassian shoots a dude straight in the face. They show him shoot the gun. They don't show the dude getting shot, but still. there's not a whole lot of fan service. There's not like, hey, that's R2, or hey, that's that droid. There's a little bit of like really deep cut stuff if you look close enough. Like some ships and some, some stuff like that. But it's not like we're watching Phantom Menace or not Phantom Menace. Force Awakens, right? Where it's like all, hey, there's that thing, This is a very different kind of story. There's no space wizards. There's no, the stakes aren't galactic. It's just this, and we're on a planet that's a mining planet, and it's a scrapper planet. That it's kind of like Braca from Fallen Order. It's basically just people going out and stripping down old ships and trying to make a living. That's all it is. It's a company town, is what you find out. There's a bit that kind of gets under my skin a little bit, and I don't know why I'm letting it kind of dictate, because I enjoyed the show, but there's a little bit that I'm like, oh god, I wish this was a little. So they're in the village with the kids, right? They're just hanging out, they're talking and doing stuff, and they may have to go hunting or something later. But while we're on their planet, a ship crashes. They look up and they see this kind of, maybe a small Corvette size ship just crashes, right? It's smoking, it's on fire, and there's like some yellow gas coming out of it, and it crashes. So the kids go on a little raiding party, and they go, oh, this is getting tricksy. So they go on this little raiding party to try to figure out what it was. And in the meantime, the oldest kind of chief of the kids, this 18, 17-year-old girl, maybe that old, gets killed. They happen upon the crash site. That's pretty cool. The old twisted wire. And there's markings on the crash site, and there's people laying about that have yellow skin and gas masks, and some of the gas masks are off, and there's yellow smoke coming out of the hull of the ship. They have markings on their shoulders that are the CIS, the Confederacy of Independent Systems. Now, this is supposed to, they say at the very beginning of the show, 5 BBY, so this happens 5 years before Rogue One / Battle of Yavin, right? / episode 4. So we already know that, according to the Wikipedia and like all the sources, Cassian at the end of Rogue One was 26. So if this is 5 years before, he's 21. He's the oldest 21-year-old I've ever seen. My daughter's 21, and I wouldn't trust them to... Well, I would trust them. They're very responsible, but they're also kind of not responsible. They're still 21, it's like, I wouldn't trust you to run a rebellion. Anyway, he seems to be much older than 21. But also, the kid version of him in the past, I'm going to say is about 14. Maybe 13. He's a gawky teenager, but he's not a tween anymore, right? He's grown past the 12-year-old, 13-year-old. I think he's 13 or 14. So, the reason that's important is... Oh, this is the first time I've seen that. So this is taking advantage of the hollow studs right in there. It's going to go between those two pins. Man, you thought doing this regular was hard. That's really cool. I'm going to have to remember that. Hi, Greg. How are you? We're just going over Andor. So if you haven't seen Andor, I'm going to be talking about it. So anyway, the timeline between when Palpatine says New Galactic Empire, that was 19 BBY, which means the Empire absorbed the CIS. It absorbed a lot of the Confederacy systems after it became the Empire. Some didn't, but most did. This really puts a weird timeline thing in place because this is it, so it would have been like 7 years after the Empire was created that this CIS ship crashed. Okay, still with the rondels with the symbols on their shoulders, and it's kind of like, why is there a CIS ship at all? There's another bit where one of the characters named Minerva, something like that, who is this lady who basically saved Cassian when he was a little boy. The ship crashes. She and this guy show up, and they're basically going to scavenge it. They're looking for Imperial parts, whatnot. And she says there's a Republic ship in orbit, basically. And the guy says, let's leave this kid. And she says, I can't. Because once they see that they've killed a Republic officer, because all the kids had these blow dart guns, and they blew darts at this guy who shot their friend, and so he's dead. And I'm like, wait a minute. So like the timeline is kind of like all over the place, and I'm not really sure what's going on. They're probably retconning a little bit of it or something. I don't know. Other than that, it's a lot of fun. My other concern is there's a bit where the majority of this takes place on a planet called Ferrix, which is this set, right? And that's the kind of oxidized, red, dusty, it's not a mining colony, but it's a scrapper. It looks like a planet that has a lot of stuff dumped on it, and people just scrap and salvage and stuff. So, thoughts on the leaked UCS Razor Crest? I will get to that shortly. So he steals a ship from this shipyard, or borrows it. A friend he knows works there, and he borrows it and then brings it back and does all this work to make it look like the ship didn't go anywhere. Like he changes the flight log and stuff like that. And then he comes back to talk to all the people who are on this planet to earn more money to get off the planet. And I'm like, couldn't you have just taken that ship and left? That was another thing. I'm like, just take that ship that you had and just leave. You know, find work elsewhere. You've got a ship now or something. So anyway. I really liked the show. I thought it was great. It was a lot of fun. It was a little darker, a little more adult than most Star Wars stuff. So it was fun to watch. The acting was fantastic. There's the guy who played the sort of middle management guard position dude just did a fantastic job. He's so great. Like, everybody was really good. How do I get that guy in there? So the UCS Razor Crest. I know that there were two sets that kind of came out today, or not came out, but were in the news the last couple days. There's your speeder bike. It's a pretty cool speeder bike. I would have maybe put something along the sides here to kind of greeble it up a little bit. Seems very bland right there. Yeah, I would have done something a little different there. but whatever. It seems all right. All right, moving on. UCS Razor Crest. I don't know that I can talk about it because I haven't seen it. If it's on a site that I can talk about it, if it's on like a commercial site of some kind and not one that's just a blog, I'll talk about it. I've seen it. I can't really say anything about it unless it's official. I can talk about, I believe, the Winter Village, the holiday village. That set looks fun. I don't have a lot of Christmas-themed sets. I don't have the elf house or any gingerbread houses, or I have two. I have the skating rink and I have the wreath / table centerpiece. And the last couple of years have got advent calendars, so I guess a couple, but I don't have like the big minifig sets. Oh, I also have the Christmas Carol book, so I guess I do. Look at that. Yeah, the trolley looks great. I love the kind of the individual sets. It's almost like you could put a little train in front of it and you can kind of rearrange the little houses however you want. It's kind of slick. So I don't know if I'll get it, but it's cute. Got the DeLorean right on. That was a good one. That was a nice, fun set to put together. I will say about the UCS Razor Crest, I feel like Lego may have had an idea of what UCS sets they wanted to do next for the last few years, and why we got that one bit that was a vote about if you wanted the gunship or the medical frigate, and I forget what the other one was, another snow speeder. I don't know. But the Razor Crest wasn't in it. And then Mandalorian came out and it was a huge hit. And of course, the end of whatever season, the Razor Crest gets blown up, and so now it's not even really still a ship because it's been blown up. It's not like it's the Millennium Falcon, where as far as we know, it's still out there kicking. Or an X-Wing, which there's a lot of them, or any other number of TIE something or else, But instead, we got a ship that got blown up, but because it's a fan favorite, we get it as a UCS ship now. So I'm a little I'm not salty, because I don't really care, and I probably won't get it. But at the same time, I'm like, I understand there's a lot of people like that ship, so fine. But I also know that they've already, a lot of people have made this ship. It's been a fan favorite. They've got a microfighter of it. They've got a regular size set of it. Brick Vault did Rich Boy J. It's not Rich Boy J. Papa Glop. I don't know if that's the same person. Did a whole mock version of it that everybody's buying. So I feel like it's fine, but it's going to be another Slave One, or it's going to be another Millennium Falcon, where they just keep reissuing it and doing more of them. And they do that because you get new kids coming into Star Wars every time, so they got to be able to get the new thing again once the set retires. They can't always go find an old copy of it somewhere. So I get why they reissue stuff all the time and rebuild it and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, Clone Wars was a huge hit. They couldn't do a UCS Republic Y-Wing. I think that'd be really cool. They couldn't do an ARC 170. They couldn't do a V19. They couldn't do a UCS droid fighter. Something that's been seen a lot and is in a lot of the movies. I don't know. That's just me. There's a lot of other things they could do that they aren't doing. But I'm sure that some things have been tested and some things just work better for the public versus the aging dude who loves starships and is kind of tired of seeing the same thing over and over again. But I know that like at Bricks Colleen, everybody who came by the microfighters, they pointed to the little Razor Crest and even his new N1, and they're like, look, Mandalorian, right? Even the obscure little troop transport that was in that one episode, they knew what that was. They had no idea what some of the other ships were, you know? They kept pointing to people going, that's Ahsoka. And it's just this white girl with black hair. I'm like, wow, none of that's right. That's not Ahsoka at all. So, not everybody's a giant nerd like I am about it. Which is why I have arguments about timelines and stuff on social media. Not arguments, but I actually and push up my glasses and say, well, what about this? Why isn't this doing this? It's like, did you like the show? Yeah. Well, stop worrying about the timeline. I was like, but I can't enjoy the show unless they sort the timeline out. That was a bit of a rant on the UCS Razor Crest. The holiday shop, the holiday set's going to be about $100 from the looks of it. I still want to get a advent calendar because I'm probably going to do like I did last year with TikTok and do opening one every day. I had a thought. I was like, hey, I could do a TikTok live with the advent calendar, but you need like 1,000 followers. Something like that for Instagram too. I was like, oh, I could do that. And apparently I can't. Not yet. So did you build the DeLorean, Greg? Or did you have it and you're setting aside time to do it? So I don't know what we worked on Sunday. Did I do designing? Or maybe I did the scythe. I did the Inquisitor shuttle. So this, and then I'm going to try to get some stuff sorted and something built for next month's build challenge, which I don't know what I'm going to do yet, but do I have our seed bricks? Yeah. So these are our seed bricks for the next 2 months. Some bricky bricks, some profile red bricks. Profile red bricks for a costume contest, and then a minifigure for, I forget what November's was. Missy, do you remember? Not a costume contest, which I think is funny. So I was kicking around some ideas of what to do for that. So we'll see what happens. I'm sure I'll wait till the last second. These look like not... Okay. Gingerbread invasion. That's right. Well, that's unfair for you because you've already got that. You've already got that set up. Started at least. You can kind of turn your house into a headquarters. or gingerbread madness. I can't believe it's already Thursday. Where did the week go? So yesterday at lunch, I went with 2 other LUG members to Dell Children's Hospital for an hour and played Lego with kids. I don't know necessarily what the program is. Yeah. Well, I don't think we knew at that point that we were doing gingerbread stuff, so I think it's safe. I don't necessarily know what the program is, if it has a name or anything like that. It's something that started up with the previous ambassador. But basically we take some of the loot that we're given and we donate it to the hospital. And then we take some... God, I just ordered like 12 of these, 20 of these, because I was out. And now they're mocking me by having 6 in here. So we take a bunch of poly bags over, and for an hour, these kids come in, and they've got, they're there for a reason. Some of them are real sick. Some of them maybe just sick for a little bit, but need assistance. They come in with their attachments and their machines and stuff, but we sit there and we give them a poly bag and let them play for a little bit. And there's loose brick that they can play with. It's in a big playroom, so they don't have to do that. They can go play with the other toys if they want. There's one girl who did. And at the end of the hour, or when they're done building and they feel like they're ready to go back to their room, we have other sets to give them that they can take back to their room. So it's kind of fun. You just kind of sit there and make sure they're having a good time, and they're for the most part they were there with their parent or a nurse or something that was keeping an eye on them. But it's very cool. So they do that every month over the summer, or every once. I think they do it 3 times over the summer. I'm not sure. I'll have to talk to the other people. Neat program, though. Let's see, what else? New She-Hulk episode came out. It was pretty good. It's a little short, so I'm still grappling with I feel like just as the show's getting going, it ends. And it's kind of like, I was waiting for a thing to happen, and then it kind of didn't. Every time. And it feels like there's like 5 minutes of credits. So I still enjoy watching it, but it's not my favorite thing. It is very much a commentary on how terrible guys are. That is for sure. I forgot to turn my phone off. Sorry. I wanted to build an Attack on Titan wall with like the masonry bricks and then like gray masonry bricks, and then inside the bricks is like a head. I don't know if anybody's seen Attack on Titan. At the very end of the first season, like after the credits, there's a huge reveal. And this show's been out for several years, so I don't care if I'm spoiling it because it's been out for several years. But at the end of the first season, there's so you meet this kind of not medieval, but maybe like 1700s level technology village, and it's surrounded by, or city, and it's surrounded by this giant wall. And the reason there's a wall is because there's these things on in the outside world called Titans, and they are just tall, naked, weird-looking people. And tall meaning anywhere between like 15 feet to like 40 feet, right? They're widely varied and just strange. Like they run really funny, and they got giant mouths, and they're like their eyes are not there, they're not home, and they just eat people is what they do. So the walls are there to keep the Titans out, and then there's got like these the scout regiment that goes out and hunts them and kills them. So the very first thing that happens at the very first episode is there's a thing called I forget what it's called, Super Titan or Mega Titan or something like that. Colossal Titan, which kind of comes up to here on this big wall, and it just kicks a hole in the wall, and all the Titans rush through, and they start eating people, right? So it's the whole story about like the military service in this town, and this weird sort of supernatural thing that's happening. And at the end of the very first season, though, you find out that there's like a hole in the wall, and you look really closely at it, and there's a Titan face inside the wall. And so you're like, the whole wall is built out of Titans. It's kind of a big thing. So I wanted to do that, like have a wall with like a Titan face in it. But then I thought of like having the dark red bricks kind of look like the wall had been stained in blood a little bit. But that didn't fit any of the themes. So now I don't know what to do with that. That's another weird show. Like, it started off real strong. Like, this was a great idea and kind of pretty good execution. And then the, like, first season was really, like, wow, shocking, and, like, watching a Tarantino movie or something. And then the second season was pretty good in that it started unraveling a bit of the story. The third season, I have no idea what happened. Like, I don't remember any of it. But there were, like, they introduced more and more of these sort of, like, sentient Titans, like ones that were more in control. And then the fourth season was like, it was split in half, and it was like, it went all over the place. It jumped ahead like a year, and it's just get worse and worse, like soap opera-ish. Greg and my son and I were watching it, and we're hate watching it. We're just like, that is the dumbest thing. Why are they doing that? Just talk to them. Just say what you mean. Why? Ugh. So much anime is just people going, you know, and you're like, just talk. Anywho's it's. Sorry, texting with my friends. Okay. Move this over here because I had something else. All right. Nope. No. So yeah, Andor's really good. I'm quite pleased with it. And I hope that what did I miss here? Nothing. I hope they don't like go the route where they're now they got to introduce a Jedi or something later in the show. It's just like, we're here because we like the politics part of it, and just do that. That's why we're here. We kind of like that. The new droid is adorable, and I give it about 15 minutes before it's all over the internet, like Lego built new set, new, not UCS, but droid size, whatever they're doing with R2 and BD1 and all those. It looks like it's the size of an astromech, but it speaks like a protocol droid, and it's got a stutter, and it runs out of charge really quickly. Cassian asked it to lie, and he's like, do you have enough power for that? So it's cool. That's a neat world building thing where droids can lie. It just causes so much programming problems that they overheat, and so they probably need extra power to cool themselves off. I think that's neat, and that was really adorable. But it's a really sweet droid. It's kind of like a little accordion. So it's got like these 4 treads, and then it's got this boxy cylinder, and at the top it's got a head with a single eye. But the box part is like 3 sections that kind of squishes and goes up and down. And its head can like swivel, and it turns, and when it's expanded, you can see the internal. I'm doing this and I'm gesturing in a place nobody can see. So it like expands, and it's got these internal like circular bits that kind of rotate around. It's really neat. A lot of practical effects in it too. This was also, excuse me, apparently filmed, like the city of, or the scrapping community was filmed on a set. So it wasn't filmed in the volume. It was actually a location, and I forget where they said it was filmed, but it was on location on a big set. Ooh, 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 look. These are my favorite pieces, and they have them in dark green. I may have seen these before in flowers or something, but I don't remember that. So the lug bulk sort for our lug is happening this weekend, and I'm excited because I get to see. I don't remember what parts I ordered, and I didn't order a ton, so it'll be interesting to see what I got. I'll do a it won't be Sunday, but maybe Tuesday on Twitch I'll do a, hey, these are the bricks that I got, what are we gonna do with them? Whole hour of that should be fun. That's hard because you know you're not going to get it. So we order all this like at the beginning of the year, and then we're just now getting it. Like I could have put our order in and been a little more proactive, but I don't think we would have got much. We wouldn't got it much sooner. Last year we got it about mid-July or something. I think maybe it was early in June. But this just seems to be like really late this year. So it's hard to plan that. It's hard to go, oh, okay, I will I know exactly what I'm going to use these pieces for, and I'll go ahead and start designing, or I'll start planning. I thought maybe I could do stuff for the stadium, but I don't have the stadium designed, so I don't know what parts I need. So I was guessing at some things, and it's like, oh, I could use that. But I don't know, maybe I won't. Maybe I'll end up not using it for some reason. I don't think I've seen jumpers in this kind of nougaty color either. Or that's dark orange. Did I already say this sounds like Wolfpack? Wolfpack. A little jazzy. Heavy on the things that aren't being played. I don't remember the interior of this looking this wood panel-y. It's like a 1980s Datsun B210 or something in there. Did I miss putting a plate on here or something? Oh, sure did. And that. How did I miss that whole thing? So got instructions for the for this microfighter up on Rebrickable, and I went through all my Rebrickable models and turned everything to free. So I feel bad for the people who bought, paid the $1 to get their model beforehand, but if you did, I appreciate that. But I realized that I haven't made any money off that, so no reason to keep offering it. But there's a PayPal link in there that you can donate if you want. So here's some stickers that I'm not going to do. This is kind of, I feel like that's kind of lazy. These two little control panels, they're specific to, I'm sure, this ship, but there are gads of 1x2 tiles out there that they could have used, and nobody would have batted an eye if they didn't use something newish right here. Save some stickers. Save yourself some trouble in designing stickers. I don't know. I could go find 2 tiles right now that would work just fine. That's kind of frustrating. Or do those, these things with the prints on them or something. Small set. Let me see if I can get the camera a little lower here. Maybe move the pieces out of the way. Better see what's going on. Oh. Trying to think of what's going on soon. Other than the lug bulk, and got new sets coming out. Yeah, no, that's about it. No movies or anything. There's a movie or a series or something I think we're going to start watching called Cocaine Bear. And I think it's a documentary about how at some point like a 800-pound bear got a hold of like a ton of cocaine and apparently went on some kind of rampage. I'm like, well, we have to watch that. That sounds amazing. Sounds like that's the beginning of a joke. So this bear does all this coke, see? Yeah, and then what? And then he goes crazy. So I need to look into what is going on in Iran. With a lack of anything else to talk about, I am woefully undereducated about what's going on in Iran. Apparently, the morality police in Iran arrested a girl and she died in custody. Now, I don't know if she was stoned to death or beaten or kept against her will for ages and dehydrated or what, like tortured. I don't know. But what I do know is my TikTok feed now is full of Iranian women saying, please don't let them silence us, because apparently Iran is now going to turn off the internet in their country. So this story can't be reported. Lots of people are burning their hijabs and cutting their hair to go against their laws, and they want the world to know about it. So if you see anything about that, make sure to follow up. I don't know how to help other than I've been sharing a few videos and I mean, what can we do? Can we pressure Congress? Can we make sure the AP and Reuters know about this? I don't know what we as Americans can do. Because it's kind of like, well, it's their country. We can't be police to the whole world, can we? But sometimes I almost feel like saying, hey, if you can get out of there and you need a place to stay, we have room. But getting out of there is part of the problem. And maybe they don't want to leave. Maybe they're like, I love my country. I just don't like the people who are running it now. And I can identify. Okay. This is built very similarly to my microfighter without having seen all this. Ooh, that comes right off, doesn't it? That's good to know. I hope that like it attaches itself somewhere. Because yeah, that just pulls right off. Okay. Yes, it does attach. Good. Right there. With that pin that's going to fall out. So hopefully I won't turn this sideways for any length of time. So yeah, I don't mean to say this as you think you got it bad here, but keep them in your thoughts, and if there's anything you think you can do to help, please do. And if you have more information about it, please share. I don't have a lot of information on it. Like, I don't know if this was in response to something, or Not like it matters. There's no reason to keep a person in jail until they die for basically having long hair. So that sucks. All right. Bag 4. Making progress. Oh, so you put these pins up here like this, and then bag 4 has this pin, and I just thought it went back up here, and I'm like, I just did that. No, silly. So I have not heard back from my application for Lego yet. I don't think I will. I mean, just in the past couple weeks or so, the imposter syndrome sets in, and I'm like, oh, look at all these awesome mocks built by everybody. Can I take my application down, please? Because dang, look at that guy. Look at that lady. How many of these are we doing? Just one? All right. Plus I've heard they don't make good money, and I'm like, yeah, but you're doing what you love to do. Isn't that the whole point of giving up a lot for your dreams? Get in the front door, do a lot of that, work for it for a while. If it doesn't work out, come back to whatever you're doing. But I mean, don't let the opportunity go. What I really need to be doing is working on the instructions for the stadium, but that is gotta be boring to watch, so I'm trying to figure out how to do it on my own. Again, I know there's prints, these tiles that have prints on them. There's no reason you can't do that here, but whatever. What's up, Macro? How's the Great North? Oh, speaking of the Great North, I don't think this affects you because I don't think that's where you are, but the hurricane that's going through the Atlantic right now, Fiona, the one that just talked bad about the Bahamas and Puerto Rico. I'm guessing this is an odd. This is going into an odd space. Is that what's going on? Yeah, okay. Is going up the Atlantic. It's hitting Bermuda right now, which, two things. What side are you on? Are you You in the middle? Or are you on one of the coasts? I forget where you are. My knowledge of Canada is pretty good. My knowledge of where people live actually is not. So it's going up the coast, hitting Bermuda. Two things. One, Bermuda is on the same latitude as like the Carolinas. And I'm like, I saw that on a map today, and it's a very small island, so you don't really see it out there a whole lot. I just assumed it was like, oh God, the pollen or something around here is just crazy. I just assumed it was farther south, like near the Bahamas or something. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that's so far north. So they're used to it. They're used to the hurricanes. But apparently the projected path, because it's going to hit a jet stream, and that jet stream is going to knock it back towards, get this, Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. And I'm like, really? The eastern Canadian islands, up their Maritimes. I'm like, wow, that's going to be crazy. Yeah, I always thought it was further south too. If you look at a map, you're like Carolinas, Bermuda, instead of like Carolinas, Georgia, Florida, Bahamas, Bermuda or something, right? It's like way up there. This is really interesting, and I'm like, well, now I want to go visit. I want to see what it's like. Just get that like Carolina's coastal feel, but on an island. Like it's a little farther north, so it's not like really hot, but it's still islandy. Interesting. I'm fascinated by this. What is happening? Oh, okay. So yeah, on top of that, there could be a hurricane blowing up through the, whatever the bay there is in between Nova Scotia and Newfoundland. Yeah, it's interesting. Let's look, shall we? No, you can. Bermuda. Okay, so not as far north as that, but I mean, it's farther north than I thought. So this is your Bermuda Triangle, right? Somewhere in here. Like here. Isn't that weird? Like, I thought it was down here somewhere. That's so crazy. So yeah, so this hurricane's going right here. Apparently a jet stream's going to come right through here. So this is a weather report brought to you by me. And apparently it's going to knock it back over here and go over this, so Gulf of St. Lawrence. Now, I don't know anybody in Nova Scotia. I don't know anybody in New Brunswick. I don't know anybody in Nunavut or Quebec or anything, but where is Nunavut? Oh, it's way up here. Okay. I thought it was closer over here. Okay. Got a little more of the bay there. I do know a few people who live in Newfoundland. They live over in St. John's. So hopefully they won't get, because I think it's supposed to go up like right through here. But even still, I hope they are okay. And the island here is like the shores are more rocky, so there's not as much of a danger. Hey Ruth, how's it going? So there's not much of a danger of like storm surge, because apparently it's more like the Scandinavian kind of coastline, fjordy and a little hilly and stuff like that. But still, there's going to be wind and there's going to be a lot of water dropped on them. So if you know anybody who lives in like the Bay Roberts, St. John's area, make sure that they're okay. And yeah, and there's Bermuda, like for no reason, just odd. So anyway, there's your geography for the day. We were just talking about hurricanes, Ruth. There's one in the Atlantic that's going to apparently ruin Canada's day in a little bit. How are you? Just having breakfast. We got a long weekend here, so I can watch today. Oh, good. What's your holiday? Do you have a long holiday? Is that what it is? Some sort of memorial or bank holiday or something? So let me ask you this, Ruth. Did you watch Andor? Do you have any desire to watch Andor? Like, I couldn't get Beth to watch Andor. I'm like, do you want to watch this? It's a Star Wars show. She's like, no. Okay. I feel like there's fewer and fewer people in my life who watch the same things as me. Like, nobody's watching Miss Marvel. I don't think anybody's watching the Hulk, She-Hulk show. I don't think anybody's watching Game of Thrones or Rings of Power, like in my group. So it's kind of like the comment section on review videos are kind of like the people I get to talk to about it. Week off. Nice. Combo of the Queen's birthday, public holiday, probably due to the change in the King's birthday at some stage, and a day of mourning for the Queen's passing. So let me ask you, as a colony, or a protectorate, or a commonwealth, I don't know what Australia technically is, of the crown, what were your feelings upon her passing? Were you not really caring too much? Were you elated? Were you like, it's about time? How did things shake out for you guys? Because I know there was about 30 or 40 countries in the world that went, all right, or don't care. Meanwhile, all I could, I was watching the BBC because I tend to watch the BBC a lot anyway, just in general. That's all they were playing. Like, the whole country shut down for like a week. What's up, Johnny G? Didn't care, hoping tax dollars go to better use. Oh yeah, Canadian too. Yep, there's that too. Flip that up, and this goes in here like so. There was even like flags here were at half staff, and I'm like, I'm normally pretty much an Anglophile, but I like English things. Like, I kind of want to go to a pub in England somewhere and watch a football game, you know? But I also like cheeseburgers and watching hockey. So, I mean, like, I'm kind of all over the place. But even I'm like, we fought a war to not worry about the queen. So, had this been a queen that lived or reigned for 15 years or something, I don't think it'd be a big deal. But I think because she'd been around for 70 years, I think that's kind of one of the factors in why there's so many people like, oh, the queen. And I'm like, okay, well, still the Queen of England. It's not your queen. Some dude on our money. Maybe time to get your own looking money. Get a prime minister on there or whatever. Yep, the Palms always puts on a decent show. Like me some Premier League football. Like me some Doctor Who. We actually don't like the food. We have a restaurant here in Austin, nearby actually to us, that's like English cuisine or something. Friends of ours went and they're like, I thought it was kind of a joke that like English cuisine was really bad and they were, you know, it's always given a rough beat. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty sure it's deserving. And they're like, right. So we saw this restaurant and we thought, well, maybe it's somebody's doing like a fresh take on British cuisine. Like, it could be good if you added salt or, you know, whatever. And so they reported back and they're like, no, it was terrible. It was just, that's all it was. Like, very untasty stuff. That's a bold manager, or a bold business model. Another sticker supposed to go on there. Not doing it. Sorry, Ruth, no stickers. Queen is like a nana. Yeah. Uh-oh, his name is Pucky. I feel like I'm missing a joke here. I feel like I'm missing an Australian joke. The name sounds familiar, but I can't quite place it. Oh, your dog. It's your dog, right? Yeah. Now I remember. Which I don't think I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen him on any of your streams, and I don't think I've seen him on Instagram or anything, so I'll have to keep a lookout. If you were streaming Saturday morning, I'll try to pop in and take a gander. Coworker invited everybody in the company to what she's calling puppies and wine, and her family just had their dog had puppies, and she's trying to get people to come over and adopt them. Sure, if not, then at least come over and say hi and socialize with them and that kind of thing. And so she had emailed me about something Lego related, and we were talking. And she said, by the way, I'm doing this thing, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm not taking Beth to a thing called Puppies and Wine because we will end up with a puppy. Was one of these supposed to be a different color? Because I'm not seeing a different color. No, that's light gray. That's light gray, that's light gray. All right, I got two dark grays here, and I'm not sure what the deal is. I don't have any over here, so I think there's a misprint. Let's look at the box. Let's see if we can see on the box if there's something different, when there is not. Nope. Okay. So, here is your misprint du jour. Oh no, there's one. Oh wait, it's right here. Derp, derp, derp. Okay. I don't know why I didn't see that. Yes. 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 Okay. Star Wars was very British the other night. Andor, very British. Let's see. Cassian Andor is Mexican. I think one of the main guy, the administrator of the corporate security, is British. Stellan Skarsgård is Swedish, Norwegian. I don't know what he is. I don't know what Brix is. I don't think Tim is British. I think it was a good kind of mix of stuff. Did it feel British, like in its portrayal or something? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that. It has been British, like all the bad guys are British. You know what I learned about Star Wars the other day that I did not know? And hang with me on this. There are two characters in Return of the Jedi that were both a person in a mask that had animatronic eyes and I think some lip movement. But then everyone who wasn't credited was British. Yeah, probably. There are 2 characters. Bye, Missy. Take care. I probably won't see you Sunday, but hopefully we'll see you at the next meeting. I'll be streaming maybe Saturday morning on Twitch. We shall see. The long shots person standing up mask that had very minor face stuff on it. Close-ups from like bust level up was 2 people working, or at least one person working a puppet and an arm, right? Like Cookie Monster, right? Get drunk and can't say no to the cuteness of a puppy night, pretty much. Admiral Akbar and Nien Nunb. So it's a trap, and the dude sitting next to Lando in the Millennium Falcon. Every shot where they are sitting next to him in the Millennium Falcon and he's talking to Lando, puppet. At the end, when they're all celebrating on Andor and he walks over and hugs or high fives Wedge, person in a suit with a mask that has like some animatronics in it, very little. But Admiral Akbar, when they show him standing at the railing where he's talking to people and he's walking around at the meeting, but from chest up shots, puppet. I'm like, you are kidding. There's like production shots of this, and it blew my mind. Here's another piece I'm having a problem locating. These 2, those 2, those 2, that, those 2, that. Like, I have no idea how that got past me as a fan. Oh, there it is. Okay. Now, they may have also had more shots of them like that they didn't use, that was more obvious and that were cut because of time or whatever. But now I have a reason to go back and watch all the old movies, you know, because I didn't have a reason before just to go back and watch all the old movies. I do that every whatever anyway, and just time to watch all the Star Wars movies in order. But yeah, I was like, what? No. No way. So there's some information for you. Okay, this build is very much building on a flat surface and pushing down because I've been holding a lot of this, and every time I do this, like, it falls apart. So word to the wise, if you are building this set later, build it on a table. I know the instructions at the beginning say build on a table, build on a flat surface, don't build on rugs or whatever. But very much so, because otherwise it feels like it's going to fall apart. So, Ruth, did you see the Christmas Village, the new Christmas holiday town set pop up out there in the wild, in the interwebs? And will you be getting it? I'm not going to ask you about the UCS Razor Crest, because I don't think that's I don't think that's in your wheelhouse. Scrambled eggs and toast and coffee. That's perfect. That's what I'm going to have tomorrow. Actually, I think I may go for breakfast taco tomorrow, or maybe some bagel and lox. Saw our YouTube post this morning. It looks nice. I'm not sure I'm getting it because I don't think I can make it work for my Christmas display. That's cool. It does seem kind of modular, like a little bit of it, like it's not all together, like it's 4 different sections. So it could be like adapted to go to other places, but I can see if like you've got big houses and things kind of set up that it would be hard to fit in there. Put a gun in here for some reason. It's probably going to be the pilot's covering area. Uh-oh. Okay, what did I miss? Oh, okay. Whoopsie. Just a whole bunch of these guys. And I think another thing. I did get Disney Plus, so I have to watch Star Wars New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. I accidentally fell asleep during both. Oh, so have you never seen them? I'm not going to force you or say, oh, you really should, because, I mean, that's the worst thing you can do to a person to say, you should watch this thing. I don't care if you watch it. If you do, great. I'm not going to force you. I'm not going to watch any art rom-com thing that anybody suggests to me half the time, so I'm not going to badger anybody about Star Wars. But cool if you're watching it. It's an older movie. It's a little slower. You know, the older I get and the more movies I watch now, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a slower kind of movie. Fell asleep during Empire again. Empire is my favorite of all the Star Warses. I think Empire and then Rogue One in terms of the movies. And then maybe Force Awakens. I know Force Awakens was kind of derivative. So like Force Awakens, New Hope, kind of all right there. Then Jedi. And then the rest of them are kind of like Revenge of the Sith was pretty good, but there's still some bits of that. I'm like, some of this is so just, ugh. I can't even, I don't know what to do about it. Oh, you have seen them. Okay. But you haven't seen them since you were a kid. Fair enough. This is the second time I've seen this. I think it showed up in the Sith Infiltrator. Or the Sith, Inquisitor shuttle, I think, had this piece too. It's a great piece. I think it's a Speed Champion hood or whatever. Yeah, I try to get Beth to watch Eddie Izzard. And I'm always getting her when she's either really tired or we're leaving for someplace. But I'm like, you have to watch Eddie Izzard. It's just the best. Is it a red one? Yeah, the one on the scythe is a red one. Still a cool piece. This is weird that they're like showing you the overheads of like all the size of pieces. It's like, I get it. It goes across 3 things, so that should be a 3. I got to see Eddie Izzard. I think I've been saying Eddie Izzard this whole time, but I think it's Izzard. I don't know. I've been watching Eddie Izzard for years, and I got to see them in Denver and in Austin. Two different shows. I think one was Circle, and then the other one, I forget, was more recent, but still very cool. Haha, they're doing stuff I would do. These 1x3 jumper plates, in order to get like it's a odd numbered wide, but you want to get that single. Yeah, cheaters. Shield piece. I was so excited today because I was building out a microfighter. I was parting it out, and I had most of the pieces, and I went on Bricklink and made a wish list of the ones I didn't have. Yeah, this is another one you could... This is so frustrating. I mean, that's... Not gonna lie, that's a pretty good panel, but I mean, I would have killed to have that as a print. That could have been in so many sets, so useful, that they didn't think that anyone would want it outside of this set. It would be so cool to get a panel like that for other spaceships or other... I mean, it looks like a great panel you could have inside of like a nuclear reactor or some sort of control something. I'm so bitter about stickers versus prints. All right, cool. Lurk away. I'm going to sit here and complain about stickers because I don't remember what I was talking about before. Probably Eddie Izzard. So I have found, and don't tell my boss this, ouch, that working from home has been a wonderful thing for my mental health because I can take a nap. And I did not like forever, but like shortly after lunch. Most of the time I'm working through lunch anyway. I don't go anywhere. I don't take a break, and I should, is the thing. Like I should stop and go do something else. Sort Lego, watch a show, go for a walk, something like that. Yeah, I paid whatever it was at the... Actually, I got this as part of... So no, I got this as part of AFAL Day at our store. So I got 15% off, or 10%. I forget it. 15%. We get a discount. And I also had like a few VIP points that I could use, like $50 worth maybe. So I ended up getting about $300 worth of Lego for like $160, which I thought was pretty good. So I got this, and I got the scythe, and I got the jazz quartet, which I'm very excited about. We'll have to do that soon. But I want to do this since Andor came out recently. So not full price, but I didn't get a discount, or I didn't get it on sale anywhere. Just, you know, normal stuff of being a Lego fan. Build up your VIP points and whatnot. So yeah, naps are great. I feel like I just need like a 10-15 minute nap, and then I'm ready to go for the rest of the day. It's really nice. Plus I get to take a nap with my dog, and she's just an adorable little snuggle bump. I'm not to the point with Lego buying that I can reuse that I've got older sets that I can sell to make money. I've got a few, but not a ton. Oh, interesting. This is a cool, I don't know if you can see in the instructions, but there's that little bar in there. There's this, right? So you put that on there like that. It's a great way to make that shape. It's a good shape right there. It's very solid. I like that. I want to be able to say, yeah, I'll buy 2 of these and then I'll keep one. And then in 3 years when they retire it, I'll just use this to sell. And then I can have an account that's just for Lego. Like I will only buy what I have in that account. That's not going to work. That account's going to be mostly set at 0 and then occasionally have some money in it because I've sold something. That's how that's going to work. But I do have friends in the Lego group, in our Lego lug, that do that. And it's a full-time job. I mean, it's every weekend, most days even, weekdays, they're out driving around to Walmarts and Targets, and Barnes and Nobles and Kohl's and wherever else, looking for clearance items, right? Check ahead of time on the site, on BrickSeek. You got to know what numbers are there already, and then you put them in and say, "You're any around me," and I have a deal, and then you got to go find them, and then you got to go, and then you got to see if they've got it, and then once you're there, you got to buy a bunch, right? And then you take the figures out, and then you put them back in the box, and you list them as complete without the figures, and then you sell the figures separately, and you know, it's a whole thing. In the meantime, I'm like, can I just build it? That's all I want to do. I also don't want to buy everything, absolutely everything there is. Like, there's some things I just don't want. Excuse me. But I mean, you know, I don't know how much this was. 70. So far, it's pretty good. How many pieces is this? 697. Still roughly 10 cents a piece. It's a little more. Plus, you get 3 figures. It could have probably been 65. But I mean, you know, I'm spending 2 hours building. It's pretty good. So you don't have to respond, Ruth, but I have started picking up my French a little more, and I fully expect to be able to make things difficult for you if we're ever face to face. I'm gonna do nothing but speak French. There's a guy on TikTok that's really great. He's this like fully tattooed guy. And there's a lot of these people who do, not fully tattooed necessarily, but there's a lot of people who have these TikTok channels that are basically, this is how you speak actual whatever this language is, not book French or book Chinese or whatever. This is how you, if you were a native speaker, this is how you do it. So it's kind of like, kind of immersion because you're not really there, but you're actually talking to a native speaker. And they're very cool, but it's, you know, it's limited. You get 60 seconds at a pop, and you just have to, and there's still no way to practice it. Cause I don't know any French people who like live next door and who don't know English, where I can go over and say, "Hey, would you like to have a baguette and a coffee and we'll talk?" And they go, "Quoi?" But this guy's very cool, and I've learned a little bit, so that's fun. because we're going to Quebec next year, spring, I think we decided, maybe. And regardless of whether I pick up more French or not, I'm gonna start speaking French, and they're gonna say I speak English, and I'll be like, okay, well, I want to get better at my conversational French, please. And they say, yes, but it hurts our ears when you do it. Please stop. Okay. Well, there's your main body of the ship. The rest of the bag, last bag, is going to be engines. But it's pretty, I mean, it's got a good shape, and it's got like 4 openings in it. So this back opening isn't really for anything. So these ships in the show carry like 6 troops, 4 troops maybe, pilot, and then 4 or 6 people each. So they're not huge. They're not like lats, but they've got that same sort of build quality as a lat. But you can see there's nobody's going to get back there. So that's pretty funny. And in the show, I didn't see them opening these side bits at all. So if you wanted to get 4 or 3 more or 4 soldiers in there, you could, because this only comes with 1 pilot. I just show them mine. Well, so far, the only person who's heard my French is Beth. And she just asked me what I said. She goes, what? What did you say? And the hardest part of French, conversational French, or any language, is just comprehension when you hear it. If somebody's speaking very slowly, no problem. But when somebody's speaking conversational, they speak like this. They talk fast because they know the language, and they're not worried if you understand it. And it's full of colloquialisms, and it's full of, filler words and things. Like, I need to go back and watch Shoresy or Letterkenny for full effect. But I love the idea that a lot of them speak French, or they understand French, but they don't speak it. That provides a lot of good comedy. It's also kind of like Chewie and Han, because they understand each other, but they don't. I mean, unless you watch Solo, which was kind of weird, like he gutturals at him. It's like, Chewie understood you. You don't need to. All right. So there's your Cyril Karn. I think is his name. What was his name? Cyril Karn. This is Cyril Karn, ladies and gentlemen. He's kind of the antagonist of the show so far. At least the first couple minutes, or first couple episodes. I have a feeling he's going to turn into, like, it's going to be the, where'd the other 2 figures go? Oh, they're over here. The show is going to be, and I have the instructions thing down there so you can't see it anymore. Let's put these guys up here. It's going to be like The Fugitive, where this dude is hunting Andor for most of it, and it's going to be kind of fun. Not putting a sticker on that. Although that looks like a very nice cosmetic sticker, given the outside of the box prints that I saw. See, then I keep these stickers and I'll give them to Michaela, and they will do stuff with them. So I just gave them a ton of stickers at our last meeting from sets that I had put together and then took apart, and was like, I'm never going to use these stickers for anything. You may has. Eddie Izzard going back to Eddie Izzard, does a whole section of his show in French. He is a polyglot. I don't know how fluent he is in any of the other languages. And where's the Brit? Was there a Brit in here, or we got 2 Aussies and a Canadian? And Kodiak is in here too, so that's 2 Americans. I don't know if Johnny was also Australian. I just kind of gathered from context clues. So he does a bit that's hilarious, and it's in French, but it's the exact same. He does like 10 minutes, and then he stops and talks about doing shows in French, and then does part of his bit in French. So he's just redoing it, and you can tell by some of the motions that he's just repeating what he had done previously. It's still funny. Yay, shelf fixed. So yeah, Greg was on here earlier talking about what I thought about the UCS Razor Crest, and I told him I couldn't really talk about it because I don't think it was official yet. Once it is, I can talk about it. I just don't want to get in trouble being the ambassador for like talking about any details, so I'm just going to say that I don't know what you're talking about. I haven't seen any of it. Blah blah blah. Oh, I did miss that. So when it does come out, we shall speak about it. But I brought that up to talk about something else. Our lug. If you're part of a lug, there are a couple programs that you can be a part of. One of which is Lug Bulk, and it allows you to order pieces from Lego in large quantities for low prices. I can't really go into how low a price is, but it's cost effective, right? Or it's cost not prohibitive. So it's kind of a good program. But you have to be an active member in your lug. Like, you can't just join a lug and then like 2 days later go, I'm in Lug Bulk, I'm going to buy all the stuff. You have to be, our lug at least, you have to go to at least a couple meetings, at least 3 meetings, and or be involved in an event, right? And this is since the last Lug Bulk. So you can't just roll in and think that it's go time on saving some money. And there's another program like that too, the VIP day. You can't go unless you've been to a few meetings. So we're trying to make sure we weed out at least a few people who are just trying to show up to buy stuff so they can sell later. And for the most part it works. Like, the people stick around and it's good. But the other program that they have is called Project Support, and this is like, I think almost anybody can do this. Like, I don't think it's a lug only thing. Like, I think an individual could do this, because if you wanted to do, let's say, a big art installation and you wanted to use Lego, I think there's a way where you could do that, where you could contact Lego and say, I have this plan, I want to do this thing, and I need to buy Lego, and they'll offer it for you, provided it's like the project is in a public space and it can be reached by people, and it's got some sort of like learning quality to kind of go with it, and there's all this kind of stuff. So as a lug, we were able to do that too. and we're getting those pieces because we've already placed our order sometime in December. So we're going to have lug bulk and then like one meeting, and then project support's going to come in. People are just going to be flush with parts. Lug bulk's your own to do with what you want. Project support is actually, we are going to build something together. It's going to be a modular thing, so everybody gets the exact same kit. We sort it out. Everybody gets the same parts. And then we're going to have a big party to do it. And then everybody gets the same kit, and then we all take it home and build it. And then the next show that we're at next year, everybody brings theirs together, and it's a big castle wall. There's a dude who has a castle that's like enormous. And so these walls go all the way around the castle. And so we've got like, I think 20, 30 kits, maybe more, maybe 50. So there's going to be 50 of these sections, and each one's about this big. So it's going to be a really big thing. This is very cool. But in the meantime, since I'm the ambassador for the group, I am like panicking with like emails and order forms. And so if you ever thought about being an ambassador, there's a little bit of stress involved with that. I know there's a dude who started the New Zealand lug, and I forget his name, but he's like kind of a big YouTuber and whatever else. I haven't seen too much of his channel, and I feel bad about that, but he was an ambassador for a bit, but he quit, and this is sad because people were giving him a hard time. I think not primarily because of this, but it didn't help that people were giving him a hard time for like what he was doing with the support that they sent the lug. Like they thought he was like just keeping it, or not using it for the good of the lug kind of thing, and he got kind of tired of that. Plus it's a lot of work. I mean, it's definitely more volunteer hours just on keeping up with emails and whatnot than like even the band stuff with the kids. But it's, did I forget a piece of this up here? I did. Dang it. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. I was like, that doesn't look familiar. I don't think I did that last time. So if you ever think you want to be a Lego ambassador, just keep that in mind. It's fun. I would say slightly rewarding, but it's also kind of it's a lot of paperwork. All right, what's going on here? Oh, there's a whole other wheel. Goes on there. Shelf 2 done. Knocking it out. Well done. And then that. Cool. All right, this is perfect timing because I think we're about done. So I will be back on maybe Saturday morning. I'm trying to think. Saturday morning. I don't think I've got a whole lot going on. I want to make sure before I promise anything. Oh, you'll be fine. Everybody in the Lego group that you're going to run into is always nervous and awkward and insular, and that's why we do Lego stuff, because we're big old introvert nerds. Those of us who aren't become the ambassadors, because we have to go talk to people. We have to go out into the public and do stuff, and nobody wants to do that. I don't like these. I don't know why I'm putting them together even. They look cool, but I just don't like taking up a god-awful amount of space for stud shooters. I think you should do it. I think you should go. I think you should try it out. Go hang out with some people. Is it far away from you? Because if it's like really far, I would understand that. Okay, now that's how you do a stud shooter turret. I mean, it looks cool. It looks like it's part of it. Like, it looks like it's supposed to be like that. That's really cool. I am proud to put this stud shooter on here. Yeah, so we got a box and we've got a fire thing. Turret goes up, thing folds down. Fire extinguisher, and there she blows. I think they do a build night once a month on a Monday evening, about 34 minutes away. I could do that. Maybe it'd be easier to go with someone to that, and it'd probably be okay. Alright, so I'm going to put this dude... Where's his gun go? Does his gun go in this thing? That'd be a dumb thing to do, is put the gun way back here. Is there no clip or anything for it? It doesn't fit in there anyway. There's another... I'll show you what I'm working on here. There's another gun back here. You can put that in the clip. So you can put the pilot's gun back here. And you can break this whole thing. Well, that's fun. That just came right the heck off, didn't it? Wait a tick. Here we go. Sorry, that's my time, live stream bandit. Well, take care, Macro. I just gotta find my bravery socks and get on with it. Yeah, the first couple meetings are a little kind of freaky because you don't know the people. And you don't know, are they my level of crazy? Are they my level of, getting involved? So, I get that. A lot of extra pieces here. Most of these are the discs for the shoot 'em ups. So that's your guy in there. Now I will say I'm pretty proud of myself because my ship, it doesn't do this because there's a dude sitting there, but sides open, wings move, and the back opens up. So I'm very excited to have all that work on my microfighter. There's no reason for these wings to move, honestly, in the universe, other than it looks cool. Like when it lands, like it flies like this. So when you see it in the show, this is its flight pattern. And then when it lands, its wings go up like this for I don't know what reason. But then it opens up, and then like, you know, you can fit 2 pilots. You can, if you get 2 more of those guys, you can get 2 each in there. And then the back opens up. There's a little thing to grip right there to open this back up to get to the guns. But in the show, it looks like they actually walk out of here. So it's a little different. But it's very solid. Like there's nothing's coming off of that. And yeah, for a gray spaceship, it looks kind of neat. It's like a little handheld LAAT, right? So it's got that same sort of triangular shape and a loading kind of thing for your troops. The double back half engines with the little wings on them. It's very much, I don't know who designed the LAT, Senior Systems or that other shipyard, I can't remember. But anyway, and good playability because there's a scene in it where there's a guy who pilots this. This guy in the show doesn't pilot this. There's an actual pilot. And there's like 4 other troops that go on with it. And one of these gets caught up on they tie it to a big metal thing and this thing crashes and it's very fun. And then they make their escape on this. So you can have them, you know, zooming away and then you can shoot them with the thing. So pretty good playability there. And it looks kind of neat. So yeah, so there's your stuff. Thanks everybody for being here. I know it's a little late. Thanks for hanging out with me. If I'm up in time on Saturday and I'm not grocery shopping or anything, I will jump on and maybe we'll do some builds or some designs. I have the noodle shop down here I can work on. I could work on the stadium, all kinds of stuff. So, but thanks again for being here. Make sure to like and subscribe and all that stuff if you want. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.